Hello, my name is John Rose, and in this video I'd like to take a closer look at the weakest organ in our body. Now this is extremely important to understand, because when we finally take responsibility for our health and realize that we've created our own illnesses, and that means we can change what we do and solve those problems, we have to be aware of the damage we've done to ourselves, especially the weakest of our organs. And think of it this way. Our body's a lot like a chariot being pulled by 4 horses. If one of those 4 horses comes up lame, the other 3 know that, and they slow down the speed to make up for the lame horse. We want to do the same thing. We have to respect our body's limitations. We want to change as fast as our body will allow us, but that weakest organ might not allow us to go as fast as we would like to go. So what do? Well, we try to go the fastest way we go, and I believe the easiest and fastest way is to do a juice fast or solid food vacation. Go down below to the description box. There'll be a link to the first of my 3-step process, which will teach you how to do a solid food vacation. But that might not be enough, because whenever we do a solid food vacation, we also have to support all those organs of elimination, and we have to support our body in case it's damaged in any way. There could be some temporary impairment or some permanent damage. And this is where we have to look at the weakest organ. For example, let's say your weakest organ is your liver. You already know your liver is damaged. I got hepatitis C. How do they know that? You have elevated liver enzymes. What if your liver is congested? They don't know how to test for that. And why does that happen? Usually you got gallstones. And what happens if you have inflammation of the liver and it keeps getting worse? It's going to come into cirrhosis of the liver. That's the next stage of disease, where there's a hardening, a thickening, a scarring of the tissues. So if you have a damaged liver, how do we support it? Well, a good place to start would be to take a look at what Dr. Max Gerson was doing, because he was specializing in cancer. And he says you don't get cancer unless your liver is damaged. So a big part of his protocol was to help support the liver. And that was where he used coffee enemas to help open up the bile ducts in the liver, so the liver could release those stored toxins and get rid of them. Now there are a lot of ways to stimulate the flow of bile in our liver. A lot of herbs do that. In fact, when you look at herbs, most of the herbs are used for the liver for that purpose. And some people say, oh well, wheatgrass enema works just as good. Well, does it? Does it have the palamites in it, or palamates, that can bind to the toxins to make sure those toxins leave the body? That's why they found the coffee enema works so well. So what do we do if we have inflammation of the liver? What do we do if there's cirrhosis of the liver? Well, first of all, start treating your liver a little more gently, like Dr. Gerson would do. He says, okay, let's not make the liver work so hard. No more animal protein, no more animal fats. Makes the liver work too hard. Keto make the liver work so hard. In fact, the more we feed a sick person, the more we harm them. The weaker you are, the less we have energy to eat food, and yet we think you got to eat to keep up your strength, and that's wrong. Water fasting many times would be the best thing to do, but not when we get to certain advanced degenerative diseases, where we also have issues of deficiency, and we also have to support the body, which we can't do while we're doing a water fast. So the best solution is to do a juice fast, a solid food vacation. Go down below in the description box below, and you'll see a seminar I gave on how to do a juice fast. I explain how to support those organs of elimination. One of them is the liver. And as I mentioned in that seminar, if we're doing everything right and we still have a cleansing reaction, that means your liver probably needs some support. And that would be a good time to test out the coffee enema to see if it works. If it does, then you understand that's your problem. Many of us go into this, we already know we have a liver problem. We already know we had a drinking problem, and we have cirrhosis. Well, what do we do if it gets to the cirrhosis stage? Can the body still heal itself? Yes, it can, but we can actually help that. Do the same thing Gerson used, some proteolytic enzymes that can gobble up scar tissue. There is a product called Vitalzyme. Spell the word vital, put Z-Y-M at the end of it. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't sell any products, but that's something I would sure look into if I had developed any type of scar tissue in the body, any type of hardening or thickening in the body, any type of tumor or cyst. I would say yes, by all means, let's take some Vitalzyme in addition to doing that. So what else can we do to support the liver? Well, Dr. Flores would suggest chug a lug some pineapple juice first thing in the morning, or at least on an empty stomach. Don't mix it with anything. Make sure you juice the core of the pineapple and chug a lug that, and that will flush out the liver better than anything. So if you're just normally eating and doing what you normally do, but all of a sudden you get talked into going someplace and you end up eating some bunch of greasy food that you never normally eat and you feel horrible the next day, chug a lug that pineapple juice, and that's supposed to really flush it out. I've heard people say that this got rid of their stones better than anything else. So that's another issue we can address. Do we need to address any stones that are in that liver? I like the Amazonian herb called Chanca piedra, C-H-A-N-C-A, P-I-E-D-R-A, P-I-E-D-R-A. And Whole Foods sells a product called Stonebreaker, and underneath in parentheses you'll see Chanca piedra in it. It dissolves stones in the gallbladder and the kidneys. Just follow the instructions on the bottle. Take a dropper full in an 8-ounce glass of water 3 times a day. A bottle will last you about 2 weeks. So we can address gallstones if you have it. There are some liver gallbladder flushes too, and there's a lot of controversy around those. But then you hear people do them, you hear all the great testimonials. Anecdotal evidence, right? Well, be your own scientist. Test these things out yourself. If it doesn't work, don't do it. And remember, if any part of your body is weak, one of the most important things it needs to do is rest. So this is where the true art of healing comes into play. This is where you know your body better than anyone else, and you need to know whether or not the best thing to do is to give this organ some sort of rest the best way it can. Of course, the problem with a lot of us is the organs that are damaged are part of the elimination system, so when we go on a cleansing program, those organs are also worked even more. So what do we do? Well, this is where the art comes into play. Oh my God, my liver is too toxic to go on a cleanse. Well, let's do it and let's see how you do it. Let's see how you go. The chances are what you're going to do otherwise is going to be harder on the body. Let's not be delusional about this. Give your body a solid food vacation and watch what happens. Quit wasting energy digesting food. If you're sick, if your body needs to heal, you want that energy. There's only so much energy available. Let's redirect it by not wasting it digesting food. That's the beauty of a solid food vacation. And then you decide how you want to support your liver. Whether you want to do coffee enemas, drink some pineapple juice, do something like Chanca piedra, do the liver gallbladder flushes, and there's a lot of them out there that pretty much do the same thing. Consume a lot of apples or apple juice that's high in malic acid for like 5 days, and on the 6th day you do a protocol where you ultimately end up drinking a lot of olive oil that is kind of like giving the liver an enema, because the gallbladder is sort of like the rectum of the liver. So when you do a liver gallbladder flush, it's sort of like giving the liver an enema. Now that might be too aggressive in the beginning for some people, so I'm not telling anybody what to do. You've got to decide what's the best approach for you. All I know is your body wants a solid food vacation. Quit wasting that energy if you need to heal. Then you need the nutrition, so get a whole bunch of leafy greens and carrots and celery. Drink a bunch of vegetable juice. Fruit juice if you can tolerate it. Keep it in mind that if you've been having high blood sugar issues for a long time, you've already done a lot of damage to your blood vessels because of that elevated blood sugar. You don't want to keep doing that. The rest of it, it might be a fair trade, just because we'll get great results and we'll go the distance. So, what do we do if we have a weak organ? We support it the best way we can. You've got to play a role in healing. You got to find out why you're sick, so you can be motivated to make the corrections and correct the mistakes you need to make. And then you need to find out specifically what part of your body is damaged and put a little time into it and learn about it. You think, oh, I can't know as much as doctors. Well, you're wrong, because doctors don't know anything about what I'm telling you right now. It only takes a little bit of their knowledge to figure out how to put it all together. The problem is they got a whole bunch of knowledge that's worthless. Knowledge of how to live is more valuable than all the knowledge of biology and chemistry and pharmakeia and physics and quantum physics combined. Nothing's more important than our health. Nothing. Nothing. And in order to get healthy, we have to understand the weakest organ and all the other damages that support those organs. So, what do we do? Go down below, get motivated, watch some videos to understand how important it is to give your body what it's really wanting more than anything else, a solid food vacation. It wants a treat.